Well, we've been studying NFL films, doing NFL games. We're getting into the college game. I got my man here, Jake Malisak. You know, my dad coached at Indiana when I was a kid.
Yep.
I love the Indiana Hoosiers. You like Justin Herbert.
I
You
do.
seem to like Oregon. So we put a lot of time into this game. Let's bring this Indiana Hoosier football team flying 1,950 miles to Eugene, Oregon, a 4.5-hour direct flight to play your Oregon Ducks. Any quick thoughts?
Autzen Stadium, very tough place to play. They have a very cool song, Shout, they play at the end of the third quarter. Hard to go in there and win the game.
The weather forecast for all you people that are thinking about doing something, it's going to be 59 degrees at kickoff, a 70% chance of rain, which could impact these two quarterbacks. Let's just talk about the head coaches. What a phenomenal job Kurt Cignetti has done at Indiana. You know, Indiana's the losingest football program in America. I mean, they were 3-24 in Big Ten games for the 3 seasons before Cignetti got there. What a job he's done, man.
Very cool. Came from JMU, turned that program around, and then Indiana right away.
Big Ten Coach of the Year. He does it with bringing in veteran players. I mean, he's got 28 guys on his team that are in their final season. He believes in getting guys that are productive college players instead of all these young guys with just potential.
Yeah, hitting the portal hard. Can't blame him.
Then you got Dan Lanning. I mean, that's your guy. Lanning is 40-6. I love watching this guy. He's got a lot of juice, got a lot of confidence and swag. And he's done it by bringing in a lot of new players as well. He got 24 freshmen, and a lot of these freshmen are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But he also brought in 13 transfers, 3 in particular on his offensive line. Lanning's one of your favorites.
I love him. I watched the Ducks versus them video they made after Penn State. His message to the team was 1,000 cuts. We're not going to beat him one play. Everything, 4-yard run, 3-yard pass, cut, cut, cut. Penn State will wake up at the end of the game, covered in cuts, dead.
Let's get into some key top-of-mind facts. I'm going to rip through it because we've done a lot of work. We don't want to be here all day, but both of these teams are in the top 10 in scoring offense and scoring defense. I mean, make this note. Indiana is averaging 47.8 points a game. Oregon, 46.6. So that's a lot of points. And then defensively, Indiana gives up 9.6 points a game, and Oregon's giving up 12. So both of these teams are in the top 10 nationally, scoring and holding other teams to not scoring. The other thing I love is both of these teams can run the rock, man. Indiana averages 268 yards a game. That's 5th in the nation. And Oregon, 239 yards a game. Both of these teams use a lot of different backs. That might help them in that rainy weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, it should.
That should.
I agree.
Will.
Yeah, good for
This is also 2 teams that manage the turnover margin. You know, I keep talking to you about ball security. That'll determine this game. It usually does big games. Indiana is +6. That's 7th in the country. Oregon is +5. They're tied for 16th. So both of these teams do a great job managing the turnovers. Both of these teams are coming off a bye. So they've had an extra week to prepare, heal up, and both these teams are coming off big wins. Indiana gets a big win at Iowa, and as you know, Oregon went to Penn State, got a double overtime win. That should help both teams.
A lot of momentum. You know, winning on the road isn't easy, and both these teams are coming off big ones.
And then we got a battle of 2 of the top quarterbacks. This might be the top QB duel of the season. Fernando Mendoza, the former California Golden Bear who transferred to Indiana, against Dante Moore, a former UCLA Bruin who's playing quarterback at Oregon. What's your feel on those 2 guys?
I love Moore. I love his legs. I love the ability to kind of have him move around. And I know Mendoza's your guy, much more of a pocket passer, pro-stock quarterback. It should be a very fun matchup.
I think they're both good size, athletic. Their stats are almost exactly the same. Mendoza 6'5", 225, 1,200 yards passing, 73% completions, 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's run for over 100 yards. And when you look at Dante Moore, he's 6'3", 206. He's thrown for 1,200 yards, 74%. He's got 14 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's only been sacked 1 time. When I watch Moore play, he could stand back there and play canasta, man. His offensive line gives him a lot of time. But I've always believed this, Jake. You can't measure your quarterbacks against just any run-of-the-mill defense. You got to measure these quarterbacks against really good defenses. And Oregon, just so we're all on the same page, has the number 3 passing defense in the country. They're giving up 122 yards a game. That's pretty damn good. Drew Aller only threw for 145 yards a couple weeks ago. And Indiana's only given up 133 yards a game passing. So Moore and Mendoza in the rain, the noise, the pressure against good defenses, let the best man win. Let's get into the Indiana offense against this Oregon Duck defense. 2 great coordinators. You know, when you get in these big-time college matchups, sometimes the coordinators don't get enough credit. We already know Cignetti and Lanning have done a phenomenal job, but Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator at Indiana, that's not the Mike Shanahan who used to kick my ass. This is a different guy, a young, up-and-coming superstar. Indiana broke records last year for points, 537. They scored 70 touchdowns. This year they're rolling. They use multiple formations. They have a lot of different ways they can attack you. They're balanced, and Shanahan does a great job calling plays. He's going up against Oregon's Tosh Lupoi. I love that guy's name, Lupoi. Oregon, I think they're famous for offense. Let's get to Oregon. Shout! Offense. Hey, this Lupoi guy's done a hell of a job with their defense.
Yeah. Shut down Drew Aller. You know, I mean, obviously that doesn't mean as much anymore, but so far so good on the defensive end.
This is the only team in the last 30 years in college football after 5 games to have a 1,300-yard passer, 1,300 yards on the ground, and 2 or less turnovers. I mean, that hadn't been done in 5 games in 30 years. So Shanahan has a very balanced offense. That'll be a challenge for Oregon to defend because you got to defend a lot. The running game at Indiana, before we even get into Mendoza, they got 4 backs. Now, one of them's hurt. The kid that transferred into Indiana at the beginning of the season, Lee Beebe from UAB, he had over 200 yards rushing. He's hurt. So you think Indiana's in deep trouble. Well, they got this Hemby kid, Roman Hemby. I believe he came out of Maryland. This cat has 350 yards rushing. They use number 8, Kalen Black. He's got 344. And this number 28, Kobe Martin, he's got 222 yards rushing.
Yeah, 3-headed monster.
Yeah, man. And Mendoza's run for over 100 yards. So I think the bootlegs, the play-action passes that come off of this running game could give Oregon some problems. They also have 2 great receivers. This Elijah Surratt, you see that touchdown to beat Iowa at the end of the game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he's a clutch big-time player. He's experienced, 31 catches, 412 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But the guy that really jumped off the screen to me is this Omar Cooper kid against Illinois. He's got 22 catches, over 400 yards. Both of these guys have 6 touchdowns and big playability.
Yeah. It's nice to have guys that can make plays with the ball in their hands.
You like when I hit you like that?
I don't love it, but I'm going to keep rolling with it. Yeah.
I mean, these guys can silence that crowd at Oregon with some big plays. And they have a veteran offensive line. I'm looking at Indiana's offensive line. What's our guy up at Barstool?
Mike Kadick.
Our guy Kadick. He's probably going to be watching this show. I was watching last year's Indiana game because Indiana only lost 2 games last year. They went 11-2, and the only 2 teams that beat them were Ohio State and Notre Dame, both on the road. Those are the 2 teams that played for the national title. But Pat Coogan, he's their center. Do you know where he came from?
I have no idea.
He came from Notre Dame.
Nice.
Now, my dad coached at Notre Dame and Indiana. You don't leave Notre Dame to go to Indiana.
Right.
That is incredible, but they get this leader at center to make all the calls. I believe this noise is going to be a factor against this Indiana offense. Do you remember last year when Indiana went to Ohio State? They had a lot of false starts.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember Coach Cignetti after the game saying, we didn't handle the noise very well. Well, there's going to be a lot of freaking noise at this place.
They got an upgraded center this year, so hopefully that helps them out, you know?
We're going to have Kadick in there jumping off sides, hanging out at that booze farm down in New Jersey.
Yeah.
What was the name of that show?
Barstool Beach House.
Yeah. I mean, we got a center that's a little bit more business-like. But let's talk about this Tosh Lupoi's defense. What a job they have done. They're 3rd in the league in passing defense. They held Drew Aller in check. They also held Penn State's running backs. I thought this Allen guy and Singletary were great backs. They held them in check. Allen had 50 yards and Singletary had 21. What do you like about Oregon's defense?
They fly around quick. They got a lot of guys that can get to the ball and a lot of guys that are reading a great, defensive scheme. That game-ending interception against Penn State, that's all game planning before. I watched that again. Ducks versus them video. They practiced that exact same defensive play with that look before the interception. It all worked together. Great job by Coach Luke Hoy.
Tell you what jumps off at me is their defensive line. They got depth, and they got some big play players. This Amari Washington guy, I wish I looked like him. He's like 6'3", 380. I don't know how big he is, but he bench presses almost 500 pounds. They tell me he squats 755, and when you can power cling 385, so this Indiana offensive line has got to deal with Amari Washington, number 52. Then they got to deal with number 1, Bear Alexander, but the guy that really pops off the screen is going to be a first-round pick. I love his name, too. Say it for me.
Matayo Uiagalelei.
Yeah, it's Mataya Uiagalelei. This guy's a badass, man. He's got 4 sacks already. He's got 3 batted passes. I mean, this guy last year had 10.5 sacks. That hadn't happened at Oregon since DeForest Buckner was there. When you watch Oregon's defense, keep an eye on 52, Washington. Keep an eye on number 1, Alexander. And don't take your eyes off this guy, number 10. Signetti's going to have a chip or a tight end presence over there against that cat in this loud noise.
Some big boys, too.
And then the linebackers, they got Jerry Mixon. He's a junior. I saw Mixon get an interception against Northwestern. He gets another one against Oklahoma State. But my favorite Oregon Duck, no disrespect to all the other Ducks, is Bryce Betcher. He's a guy, man. He's kind of like me. He's a walk-on. He's a Gruden grinder. The cat walks on at Oregon, baseball and football. He's drafted by the Houston Astros. I mean, he's a hell of a baseball player. They give him his 6th year to come back and play linebacker again. He wins this Burlsworth Trophy. You know what that is?
Yeah, of course.
What's that?
Is that Brandon Burlsworth?
Yeah.
From Arkansas?
What is it? It's a walk-on.
Ah, nice.
It's a guy
Very
that
nice.
walks on, comes out of nowhere, and has a hell of a career, has a heck of a season.
Nice.
This cat right here, he wears number 28, 94 tackles a year ago, 50 solos. He's a high-effort guy, very instinctive. But he's got a pick this year. He's got 39 tackles, number 28, Betcher. And this Jerry Mixon guy, give Oregon a couple ball-hawking linebackers. And I like their safety, the transfer from Purdue, this Dylan Thieneman. He had the pick to close out Penn State. So it's a very talented defense going up against Mike Shanahan's balanced offense in this noise. It should be interesting.
Exciting. Can't wait.
Okay, let's take a look at Oregon's offense against Indiana's defense. You know how we watch all this film, getting ready for the draft, getting ready for these big games. I love Oregon's offense. And this offensive coordinator, to me, Will Stein, does as good a job as anybody. Multiple formations. You might see the same passing concept 5 times out of 5 different formations. They use all kind of motions, shifts. He's very creative, and they're really good at getting the most out of their quarterbacks. Don't forget, Bo Nix, he goes to Oregon from Auburn. He plays better for Oregon, 72%. Then he throws for 77% in a season. Then they get Dylan Gabriel to transfer from, I think Gabriel played at every college in the country, but he goes to Oregon and throws for 73%. Now they get Moore from UCLA. He's completing 74%. So Will Stein's offense, they get the best out of their quarterback. They are the best red zone offense in the country. They've had 23 possessions in the red zone. They score every time. 19 touchdowns, 4 field goals. They take care of the ball, and they distribute the hell out of the football, man. 100 complete passes in 5 games. They have 13 different receivers. They got 4 Oregon Ducks with 10 or more catches. That's impressive, man. I mean, don't you like watching this pass offense?
Listen, there's no fluke when a third guy is going to be in the top 4 of the Heisman voting, third different quarterback. So Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, obviously Heisman finalists, and then this guy, Dante Moore, is going to be in New York at the end of the year.
Yeah, Will Stein will help you shine.
I love that.
I just thought of that.
Put that on a T-shirt.
But it's their running game, just like Indiana's offense, I think, that makes it go. I mean, they run for 175 yards or more in every game. And it's a different type of running game. They can get you in the shotgun. They can get you in the pistol. They can let the quarterback run. They got a lot of different runners. But when I watched them start the season, everybody said, hey, Gruden, we got a good running back, this Mekhi Hughes guy. He wears number 20. I start watching the Oregon tape. I don't see Hughes. Where the hell is he? I start seeing this Noah Whittington guy. He starts the season. Noah Whittington, he came back last week because he got hurt, missed a couple games. Whittington's solid. But when I look at him, it's this Jaden Lamar guy. Okay, he starts the party. He wears number 27. He's got 232 yards. But how about these two true freshmen they got?
It's awesome.
I mean, they're awesome. This De'Air Hill guy, 270 yards. He leads the Ducks. He wears number 23. He averages 10.4 yards a carry. And then they got this other guy, Jordan Davison. Hell, he's got 7 touchdowns. So they talk about Hughes. They start the season with Whittington, and all of a sudden these two true freshmen got a case of whoop-ass.
Yep. Helps. Sure helps when you can run the ball with multiple different people.
Sure does. And in credit to Coach Lanning and Coach Stein, at the beginning of the season, they lost Holden, they lost Tez Johnson to the NFL, and then their top receiver, they had a great receiver, this Evan Stewart. I couldn't wait to see him play. He's hurt. He's out for the year. So what are the Ducks going to do? They got no receivers. All of a sudden, it's number 1, DeCorian Moore. Who the heck is that guy?
That's my guy. He's talking about burst. That guy can move.
You better be careful with DeCorian Moore. He's got 19 catches, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gary Bryant had a big touchdown against Penn State. This Malik Benson guy looks good. But here's my X factor, man. You know how much I love tight ends.
Yeah, I do.
Kenyon Sadiq. This guy's a badass, man. He's an excellent receiver. He's got 15 catches, over 200 yards. But let's keep an eye on Kenyon Sadiq. He wears number 18. I think he's a future joker. You know, he can play in line. He can play in the slot. He can play out wide.
Does he remind you of anybody in particular?
I don't want to put any more pressure on Sadiq, but I just say this. If I had a coaching job, I would love to have him. But it's this offensive line. You know, they had questions. Is Dante Moore the real deal at quarterback? They had questions about their receivers with all the departures. They had questions, about these running backs. And then the O-line, they lost 4 starters from last year, man. The only guy that returns is their center, and I love saying his name, number 72. I'm going to let you say it first.
Iupani Laluulu?
No, you got to say it. Iupani Laluulu.
Laluulu.
This guy's number 72. He's going to be an NFL player. He is in the pivot. He brings the experience, this Will Stein system. He and Moore negotiate the protections. They do a great job communicating. But they went into the transfer portal. Okay, credit to Dan Lanning and his recruiting ability. They get Isaiah World, man. He's all world. Number 76. Is he 6 foot? What is he, 6 foot?
2.
6'2", 320. He comes out of Nevada. They get Emmanuel Pregnant, 6'5", 320 from USC. Alex Hackey, 6'6", 330 from Texas State. He's wearing 71. They have size, athleticism, and I think they like the mosh pit. You ever go to one of those concerts in a mosh pit?
Throwing around
people. I think they like that. What do you notice about the Oregon offensive line?
I went through their roster listed. They probably got 15, 16 linemen, 3 guys under 300 pounds. So they got some big boys up front protecting more than the boys back in the backfield.
Well, they've only given up 1 sack all year. They run the ball right down your face. These guys have come together quick. The veteran center certainly helps. But it's this coaching of this system that has really taken off here. Let's talk about this Indiana defense. I think the last group of people that anybody talks about right now is the Indiana Hoosier defense. Nobody knows this, but they're only giving up 9 points a game. They've done a hell of a job now. Defensive coordinator Bryant Haynes has done a phenomenal job. For the most part, they play a nickel defense. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 DBs. I've seen a little base 4-3 with 4 DBs, but I already told you how great Oregon is in the red zone. Mm-hmm. When I watch Indiana's red zone cut up, there's only been 3 possessions all year in the red zone. So, I don't know what to expect. I don't know how Oregon's even going to put together a game plan because Indiana hasn't shown anything. They've been that stingy on defense. They have a defensive line that's very talented. And these are kind of overachieving type players that transferred from James Madison
Yep.
to the Big Ten, and now they're playing for the #1 billing in the country. And it all starts with Mikhail Kamara, the transfer from JMU. He's been quiet this year, just 1 sack. He's got a lot of pressures. Last year, he was one of the top pass rushers in the Big Ten. They also have Tyreek Tucker. He wears number 95, another JMU transfer. He's only 6 foot, 298, but he's got 3 sacks. He's a penetrator. Kamara's not the biggest guy. And they got Mario Landino. I like saying that name. 6'4", 275. He played really good against Illinois, had a couple sacks. I just worry about the size. These are really good players. Do they have enough size to go up against Oregon down after down after down?
Sun Belt versus Big Ten. It's a little bit different. So I'm hoping these guys have what it takes to get through that big offensive line.
And I think Indiana, they have as good a linebacking core as there is in the country. Another JMU transfer, Aiden Fisher, one of the top Big Ten players last year. He's got 24 tackles and a sack. But Fisher is noticeable. He wears number 4. He rarely comes off the field. Good sideline to sideline finishing effort. And he's instinctive. And they got 2 Indiana cats playing next to him. Elijah Hardy, number 21. Isaiah Jones, number 46. These are athletic linebackers that can make one-on-one tackles in space, and man, do they run to the freaking ball.
Listen, they dominated Illinois, who's got a great offense. I like Luke Altmaier, so this defense is for real. Oregon should have their hands full.
You go back to Decorian Moore, the great receiver at Oregon. Indiana's got a heck of a shutdown corner. This D'Angelo Pons, he wears number 5, all Big Ten last year, second team All-American, blocked a punt, touchdown against Illinois. This guy's a badass. Pons, he missed that Iowa game, though, 2 weeks ago. My sources in Bloomington say he's ready to go. I mean, this is what you want to see. Pons against our guy Moore. They also have a great safety, Lewis Moore. He's got 30 tackles and 3 interceptions. What do you know about Lewis Moore?
So I learned, spent 2 years at Indiana, transferred to Ole Miss for a season, and now he's back at Indiana. So that's pretty interesting.
That just shows you, man, he likes Bloomington more than Oxford. But Lewis Moore is a heck of a player, very productive against the run and the pass. They also have Amari Farrell, who's got 3 interceptions. It's a ball-hawking secondary. They have a very talented front. They might not have the size that Oregon has. They may not have the depth, but boy, they play their butts off, and this is going to be a great freaking matchup. Well, we got to make our picks. You know, I love Indiana. Cannot wait for this game. The biggest game in Indiana football history. Who you taking?
Can't bet against my guy Dan Lanning. In Autzen Stadium, prime time, Oregon 34, Indiana 27.
You just love this, don't you? You just love,
I do love this.
love this.
I do.
As much as I love Indiana.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and
Shout!
Shout!
come on now.
Hell with it. I'm taking Indiana on a freaking upset. 2,000 miles from home. Indiana 31, Oregon 30. Go Hoosiers!